Hi, welcome to Tony's Quick Tips. Today I thought I'd share a question that's well worth using with clients. What's the worst that can happen? Now, before you think I've lost my marbles, let me explain why it's such a good question to put forward when doing discovery or fact-finding with clients. Firstly, you aren't doing the talking or trying to convince people of anything, so you're not in sales mode, you're in listening mode. Now, that almost always leads people to like, trust, and consider what else you have to say when you do make a suggestion. They won't like you telling them worst case scenarios. That's salesperson stuff, isn't it? But they'll believe it if it's their own thinking, albeit with a few prompters from you perhaps. The second reason why it's quite powerful is because clients will have a very strong tendency to remember what they said far better than they can remember anything that you said. So the worst case scenario becomes something that they will be able to recall far more readily in future conversations because they said it. The third reason why it's a great question is because it isn't in jargon or technical talk. It is simple, everyday language, and it's a phrase that pretty much everyone understands and they can get to grips with straight away. The kicker though is this fourth and final reason. One of the principles of behavioural psychology, or the science of why people do what they do, is anchoring. Anchoring leads people to use the beginning price or the beginning fact or scenario as the thing by which they judge all future prices, facts or scenarios. It becomes their comparison point. So this is the reason why the highest price gets talked about first, right? So that any other price looks more reasonable. In the same vein, when we're doing, say, retirement planning or insurance planning, if we get the client considering the worst case scenario and telling us what it is to begin with, then almost every other scenario, including any future recommendations you make, tend to seem more reasonable or a more preferred course of action. So it's just like the highest price example. If we get the clients considering the worst case scenario themselves, then our recommendation to divert, say, 2% of their income to avert it becomes quite a reasonable solution. So if you want to set yourself up for less resistance to your recommendations in the future, and you don't want to be seen as a salesperson, then think about using this simple technique fairly early in your fact finding with clients. After all, what's the worst that could happen? That's the quick tip for today.